November 8th's surprising result requires that I acknowledge my mistaken prediction about the outcome. I had predicted a seismic shift in the U.S. House of between 40 and 60 seats. I wasn't close. The Republican majority will be between 5 and 10 seats. The red wave turned out to be a trickle. I have told you that on my Views and show, we intend to be candid about our mistakes and expect you to point them out when we miss them. So what did we miss? We missed the strange toxicity of former President Donald Trump's influence on the Republican Party. The number of Trump-backed Republican candidates across the nation's ballots that got blown out ended any hopes of a red wave. So the electorate was perfectly clear that while 75% of voters believed the country was heading in the wrong direction, usually doomed for the party in power, they would not vote for extremists or election deniers because the country's interests were properly placed before their own. For once, James Carville was wrong. It wasn't the economy, stupid. Which brings us to the future roadmap for both parties. I will now quote from a usual source, the Washington Post's George Will, in his postmortem of the election. The election results should move both parties to introspection. Journalists, too. Republicans cannot win with former President Donald Trump defining them. Democrats cannot win by invoking Trump's specter to stifle debates about their Democratic policies. No cash bail, greed causes inflation. That stroke their base's erogenous zones. When, however, Trump is scrubbed from the public square, this cleansing will be welcomed by an exhausted electorate, but will be decomfitting to both parties. Republicans will be forced to articulate an agenda, and Democrats will be forced to defend their agenda. End quote. I think Mr. Will nailed it. There are paths to the promised land for both parties. The Democratic path will be to leash and muzzle their left progressive radical arm. You know, their progressive caucus, the Green New Dealers, the defund the police advocates, the critical race theory zealots, the border is secure fiction, and the shutdown of all domestic energy production dreamers. They also have to figure out what to do with their incumbent president, with half the Democrats polling that he should not be their nominee for president in 2024. Republicans have to purge themselves of Trump. This is a delicate balance, but there is a template for how. Specifically, how Glenn Youngkin won Virginia's gubernatorial contest. He praised the former president's policies, the America First agenda, and anti-wokeism, but made clear he was not an election denier and did not support the January 6th insurrection, while not appearing on stage with the former president. In other words, support the good Trump policies and get the nuclear-safe distance from his radical theories and quirks of personality. Secondly, Republicans must find a young, strong leader that has the strength, courage, and intelligence to pull that off. Based on Tuesday's outcome, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comes to mind.